So, gents, thanks for joining me. John, first of all, we'll start with you. Just give us a little bit of a background into your sort of footballing career, whether it's playing, coaching, and then obviously move on to when you joined Aveley.
Well, coaching-wise, I started my badges 2005, so it's a sort of good 15 years now. So yeah, sort of cut my teeth grassroots, and hooked up with a good friend of mine, Dan Lee, who we coached together. I was his goalkeeping coach, so wherever he went, sort of followed him around. And we had a bit of success at Barkingside under 21s and Harlow Town under 21s. He got a job at assistant manager at Vickers, which is in Eastman, South East, I believe, Vickers, Crayford and Dartford. Mm-hmm. They obviously had their own setup there, own goalkeeping coach, so sort of obviously I was a little bit, I'd done my own thing for a while. As you know, joint Sorbo, reserves, half season for the first team, and then left there and joined Aveley. So, and that's it, present day, really. Yeah,
how have you found the club since you've been with us?
I love it. Absolutely love it. I've got a bit of like family association with the village, if you can call it a village now. But my dad's family, all my dad's family, sort of lived in the village. So yeah, I spent a lot of my time there. My nan lived in Mill Lane, where the old club used to be down the road there. So yeah, my dad used to go to games, when he was living in the area. So yeah, got a lot of association with the club, or the village, and I'm glad that I'm associated with the club. So yeah, it's a really decent setup. I love it. Yeah, great. Can't wait to get back.
Yeah. And Dave, your background, where did you start your kids' football and so on, and obviously moving on to then finally at Aveley?
I played for Trinity United for under 8s, and then I got picked up as part of the West Ham community. I went on the elite squad, then got signed by the academy for under 9s until the under 14s. Mm-hmm. From there, I got released because I was too small. From there, I went to Hutton and then to Thurrock. I played for the reserves at Thurrock, I think when I was 17, and played in the first team at 18 in the Conference South. From there, we got relegated 2 seasons in a row, and then joined East Thurrock for a couple of seasons.
Not your fault.
No, not my fault. Went to East Thurrock and then went to Harlow from there. And then obviously to Aveley.
And this was just end of the second season with us, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Still not made a full season, but.
No, I was going to say, because you joined, was it 2 or 3 games into the season, and then obviously we haven't finished it.
Yeah, not quite. Hopefully next
year. Yeah, we hope. You just mentioned East Thurrock. It's probably just a good link for the next question, I suppose. But what's your thoughts on Covo joining with Aveley?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously Keith knows his stuff. I think Covo's another head to kind of maybe add his thoughts. Hopefully the majority of the squad stays together. But if not, I know Covo's got a good contact book, so that can't be a bad thing. But yeah, Covo's not someone that will kind of try and overpower anything. He's a nice guy, really good to be around. So yeah, I think it would just be positive, really.
And he gave quite a lot of you sort of looked into first team football. I think you, Connor's been there. I think Tom's been working with him before as well, hasn't he? So
yes, yeah, all 3 of us, yeah, definitely.
Cool. Just a little bit then, John. First of all, your relationship between the 2 of you. How does it work? When it comes to sort of training sessions, is it you put it on for Dave, or is it what Dave wants, or how does it work?
It's quite flexible, really. I think if we've got our sort of set little sort of warm up that we do. Getting the hands and the feet in sort of early. If we sort of, or if I see anything, say sort of match day, then we'll sort of, I may sort of plan something in a drill, functional sort of wise, that we can sort of practice. I don't like, I'm not one that beat Dave over the head with certain stuff that you've got, you know, we've got to try and do. I don't get Dave a lot. Don't get me wrong. I don't get many minutes with him on training evenings. So we try and do as much as we can. So it's sort of like hands and feet, and it may be some tactical sort of shooting on angles and stuff like that. So, you know, bit of distribution maybe. So collecting from crosses, then distributing, and then receiving a shot. So, yeah, it's very quite fluid actually to what we do. Nothing set in stone. You know, I mean, I can't wait for pre-season because I've got some plans in and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And then Dave, what do you look for when it comes to like your coaching stuff? Is it more mental side of things? Because obviously you've played for a while, or is it still technique stuff that you look for?
It's a mixture of everything, really. I think John's obviously a really nice guy, so it's good for just somebody else to bounce off of, kind of speak the same language, sort of thing. Coaching-wise, he's really good because everyone's got a different opinion on things. So, I mean, I might kind of set in a certain way, whereas John might say, "Why don't you try this?" And it's something that I haven't tried before because it's a different opinion, which to be fair normally works.
So what you're saying is you're normally wrong and John's normally right.
Yeah, pretty much.
No. Listen, the thing is that I think you know, I said this at that first interview that we had back in December. You know, I'm not here to rewrite Dave's game, his technique, anything like that. I mean, guy, you know, he's played at a top level. You know, I'm not going to try and change that. All I'm here to do is to maybe you know, fine tune certain things that will make him better as the season progresses.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that may be quicker feet across goal, hand shape, maybe set position, narrower on tighter angles and stuff like that. David know what we're talking about there.
Not keep it down the middle.
You know, yeah, but you know, I'm not here to change Dave's technique or anything like that. No, no way.
Cool. Dave, I don't know if you watched the video from last week, but you did get a couple of mentions, so you're going to get your chance to have a bit of your own back, I guess, with your teammates.
Okay.
So we'll start off with the best trainer.
Best trainer. Ooh.
I will like to add that you were mentioned in that question as one of the worst trainers by Shad.
By Shad?
Yes.
Ooh. Wow. Big talk from Shad.
Yeah. He couldn't really talk much last week because I think his ear and his beard was getting in his way. So thought he wanted to.
Yeah. A bit delusional on his side, isn't he? Sorry, is it best trainer?
Yeah.
I'd say maybe Raddy.
Okay. Biggest moaner.
I'd say it's out of Withers or Tony Martin.
Okay, that's shocking because everyone was adamant it was George Allen last week.
Oh yeah, he likes the winners. Yeah, I'd say Withers is probably the person most on my case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most fines.
Shad or Sam. Sam's always late.
Yeah.
Who would you say would be a future manager?
Probably Withers, to be fair.
I think whoever we ask that question to, it's always coming up as Withers. So I'm guessing he wants to do it like next week.
I can't really think of anyone else. Yeah, probably just Withers.
He's just a stand-up candidate, isn't he?
Yeah. Just likes moaning.
Yeah, that's it. Which is what most managers do.
Yeah.
Okay, so worst dress sense, someone that you wouldn't want anywhere near your own wardrobe.
In my wardrobe? Shad.
Throw him
under the bus, Shad. Yeah.
Okay.
Gunning for him now. Fine.
Who's your best mate at the club?
Probably Jace, I guess. We car share to spend the most time together. Yeah, he's a cool guy, so yeah, probably Jace.
Yeah, we were all a little bit shocked last week on last week's video because he didn't mention you as you being his best mate. So
no, that's fine.
we were all a bit concerned of what was going on.
Only's a shoe-in at the end, wasn't it? You reminded him.
Yeah, love-hate relationship.
Yeah, that's it. And then the last one was, and John, you can answer this as well as being part of the changing room. One player that you would not like to spend lockdown with. So that's a question for both of you.
Did I get mentioned this last week as well?
Not for this one. No. Oh no,
No,
I
I
know
was
you
gonna
did.
say.
You did actually. You did get mentioned last week.
Shad called me out last time as well, to be fair, on it,
You did,
on
yeah.
the desert island. Someone I wouldn't want to spend it with.
Whether it's because you find them annoying, or you find them boring, or too much, or just someone you don't.
I'd say maybe possibly Sam. So I think we've probably got the least in common.
Okay.
Yeah.
John?
Not really suck, can I?
I'm sure you'll have a free pass if you wanted to answer that question, though.
Oh, free pass. Can I have a free pass on that one?
Right. Okay. We've got a couple of questions that have come in from fans and people around the club. The first one's from an under-10s goalie from Orsett Park, Oliver, who's also a season ticket holder at the club. It's probably a question more for you, John, but I suppose, Dave, you can jump in as well. What tips can you give to help with getting back to your feet quickly after making a save? Is there drills you can do to help this?
Yeah, there is. We do quite a bit of this, don't we, Dave? With with the swivel on the base of the back, so you ain't actually getting up on your feet. So if the ball, you make the save, it pops out, then you can use your body weight, swivel around and recover. Instead of getting up on your feet and then diving again, because obviously that's valuable seconds that you're wasting there. I'll tell you what is a good thing, especially now with obviously this lockdown and that you can do in your garden. If you place, you haven't got to have balls necessarily, but if you put cones, stagger cones, and then you can dive on the cone up, dive on the cone, so you're doing opposite sides. That way it's more less explosive. So you've got to do it. So you've got to do it quickly, but then have a rest period in between, because obviously it's quite strenuous.
Yeah.
And then do it again. So yeah, there is things to do, but it's just I say that's what we've done a bit of that, haven't we, Dave? Like with when we do a specific drill where we'll fire the ball in, Dave will put it down to his feet. He'll get a low diving save to the opposite side, and he'll swivel around and recover that first ball. So yeah, a lot of it is body weight, transfer of body weight. Sometimes you have to get up on your feet, set again, ready for the next shot, which is the other thing that I say to Dave and the other keepers as well, not just Dave, this is the other guys that train with us as well, is that if you parry, then you've got to get up quick, either to recover the ball or to defend the goal if it parries away. So yeah, there's things to do. You've just got to be quick thinking, not watch it roll away.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, Dave, what Dave thinks of that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And maybe even sometimes I try and almost not use my arms as well, like to push myself back up. To think if someone's going to it's a rebound, you're going to have to use your arms to try and block the shot. So if you can try and just use your legs to get up, it will help generate more power in your legs as well. Aside from that, yeah, basically what John said.
Cool. The next one's from Richard Chambers, who I'm sure we all know from his involvement with the club. It's actually a question for the three of us. So who do we all think is the best goalkeeper ever, and who's the best player we've seen live?
Who's going first on that one? Because I think this is an age thing.
Okay.
Era. I think the best goalkeeper I've seen, and I'm going back a few years, is Peter Schmeichel for me.
Yeah, I'd have said the same.
I know, obviously, the keepers today, you've got Ellison, Henderson, Wright, De Gea, they're all fantastic keepers. But I think when he was playing at Man United, he was in a great team. He was just an absolutely outstanding keeper. I think he introduced a lot of the attributes that you find keepers using now with the blocks and stuff like that coming out, making yourself really big. Yeah, for me, that for me, it would be Pete Schmeichel.
Same for you, Dave?
Yeah, I'd say the same. Yeah.
We're all agreed then, because I was the same as well, because I'm a United fan, and Schmeichel for me growing up was just epitomised goalkeeping for me. So he was number one.
I like Van der Sar as well. I thought he was good.
And do you know the common link between them two was coached by the same fellow, Eric Steele, who I was fortunate to meet at a goalkeeping conference about 2 years ago. And this guy he's got videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and absolutely fantastic coach. And he has coached the best that Man United have produced for a long, long time. So yeah, great.
And so the best player you've seen live? This was tough for me because I was adamant that I'd seen a particular player play live, and I had to check on on Google, and he didn't actually play in this game. So I have had to change it. My one, I thought mine was Bergkamp, because I thought I saw Dennis Bergkamp play for Holland against Wales in like 95, 96, and I checked the squad and he wasn't in it. So I'm going to go for individual performance that I've seen live. Sadly, was Steed Malbronk for Fulham against Man United at Old Trafford. They beat us 3-1, and I was there for my 18th birthday. I know. Yeah. But he ran the show that day. He was the best player I had seen live. There's probably better players that have played the game, but certainly the best one I've seen live.
I would say for me, and I'm going back many, many years again, I used to steward over West Ham, being obviously a West Ham supporter. So I used to work over there, and we played at Tottenham, and obviously when Gary Lineker was playing at the time. So I'm going back a few years now, and I always thought he was a bit lazy and a bit just fortunate where he was and stuff like that, where he got his goals. Didn't do really much off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only when I see him play that day, the amount of running off the ball he done, creating his own space, putting defenders around, phenomenal. So for me, yeah, not a lot of people, I don't suppose, really like. I don't know, but for me, yeah, it was one stand out because I thought he was just lazy. But yeah, right.
And yours, Dave?
Leanne, a couple of years ago, for my birthday, we went and watched Barcelona.
Okay.
And so it'll be messy, but he literally only come on for like the last 10-15 minutes. But just within that 10-15 minutes, just opened the other team up. It just made things look so simple and easy, and just like literally just glides around the pitch. But to just see him for like 10-15 minutes, just the difference he made was unbelievable. Yeah.
The other close one for me, and it's probably a bit of an odd one, like similar to the Malbronk, was in that game for Holland against Wales. We were actually winning. We scored early, and they brought on Pierre van Hooijdonk after about 65 minutes. And in the next 10 minutes, he scored twice and set up the other one, and they won 3-1. So that 10-15 minutes play of just unbelievable football from one player. But I suppose on paper, he's not as good as some of the others, like Kluivert and De Boer and stuff. But that one game, he was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just got a couple more. This one's from Craig, actually. So Craig said, obviously, with isolation measures in place, and footballers can keep themselves fit with running drills, etc. What things specifically can you do, Dave or John, for goalkeepers, for like working on the angles or crosses, etc.? Would you simply as just getting a ball and going to a field, or would you just sort of ignore that until you get back out?
Is this for me?
Yeah, well, you and then John afterwards, yeah.
It's difficult because I think you need a period where you kind of stop for a bit anyway, just both psychologically and just let your body recover a bit. I'm quite an active person anyway. I love just playing sports. So if it's tennis, cricket, anything, I'm easy. I've been playing football, tennis a couple of times down in the garden. But actual goalkeeping wise, it's difficult because unless you pretty much kick a ball against the wall, there's not really a lot you can do. I mean, you can practice goal kicks and things like that, but again, you got to find a big area, and the grass has got to be of a standard that you're not going to kind of take your run up and roll your ankle and then put yourself out for pre-season.
Yeah.
But just anything really, just keeping fit in general, just keep you ticking over. I suppose the less body fat you've got, the sharper you'll be. We've got like weights and stuff here, so I can kind of work on more power stuff. But long distance running and things like that, keepers, I don't really think they're certainly not as beneficial as it is for an outfield player. So I haven't done any runs.
No, I agree with that I agree with that, because obviously being a goalkeeper, your energy system is different to a midfielder, striker, whatever. You know, we're more explosive, so we have long periods of doing not a lot, and then we're expected to sort of come into action and make these, you know, fantastic saves. What I would say, and I've seen a lot of this online with the academies that I'm involved with, and that a lot of the young keepers are using rebounders now in their gardens. So, you know, basically it's just a frame with a elastic neck thing, and they're throwing the ball, so they're getting the hands are still in, or they'll get someone to serve in from behind, so it's a little bit more of a surprise of where the ball's going to end up.
Yeah.
Footwork, so you can ladders and cones in your garden. Nothing wrong with that at all. And maybe just a little throw or a little volley in at the end from your parent, something. Or go over the park, like Dave was saying, just practice your kicking or your throwing. You know, with your mum, your dad, your brother, whoever. You know, yeah, there's things to do. As for practicing high balls, crosses, angles, you ain't got the space, I don't think.
Yeah.
There's not, and the goal, you know, you need the setup for it to do all that sort of stuff. So at the moment, I would just say to keepers, just do those things, footwork, bit of handling, and distribution wise. You know.
Yeah. Probably one to link into that then, obviously, because with goalkeeping being more sort of mental strength going to be a big part. How do you manage to sort of flip the switch from having a mistake and then being back on it? And John, what type of things can you help, like the keepers you work with that?
Well, Dave can answer this one, because what do I say to you, Dave, when you make a mistake?
Forget about it. Forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, well, we all make mistakes, right? And when a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it invariably ends up in a goal, right? That's just the nature of our position. So what I look for in a goalkeeper, or what I expect from a goalkeeper, is how do they respond to that? So do their head go and that's in for the rest of the game, or do they sort of regroup and then push on and try and learn from that mistake? You know, because for me, there's no good in, say you concede a goal in the first 5 minutes, and then for the rest of the game you're gone. You're not going to be a great goalkeeper. That
Yeah.
You need to be learning from it. Forget about it, because you can't affect that now. It's gone. And so how do you respond to that? What have you learned from that? Yeah. For me, that's massive, and that's what I say to Dave. You know, especially even in training, where we do our hands and feet at the beginning, but maybe the keepers will drop one. Yeah, and they get a bit front. How you respond to that?
Yeah.
We'll get the next one. Okay, we'll make sure we catch the next one. So yeah, for me, that's what I say to Dave. I don't know what Dave's mindset is. I think you're pretty good like that, David. Yeah.
Mate, enough to try and forget about. I think, yeah, I agree. Pretty much, forget about it. Forget about it, but kind of.
But you know what I mean?
But temporarily forget about it. Kind of get yourself through the game. I mean, you might be involved in 6 or 7 key moments. If like John says, if you do it in the first 5 minutes, the next 6 or 7 times you're called upon, if you make another mistake, then if you're 2-0 down, it's a lot harder for your team to come back. If you're 1-0 down, you know, you still got an opportunity to get something from the game. But yeah, temporarily forget about it and maybe just analyse after the game to try and improve yourself moving forward.
Cool. But there's 2 we've got from Ben, actually. John, I know you know Ben. I think you worked with Ben as well before. So, firstly, how did you get to this level of football? And that's playing and coaching. And secondly, have you both played EJ football, and if so, who for?
No, as I said to you, I'm more in my coaching career really. As I said to you, 15 years ago. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did play football, but you know, I didn't have, you know, I wasn't that good, wasn't good enough. So yeah, so I decided to pursue the coaching, which I don't play no more. I stopped playing when I was about 40. It just takes a long time to recover off the games, an injury. So no, I get more buzz coaching now than playing, certainly. So yeah, but Dave.
Yeah, I played for Hutton in the EGA for a year, and then obviously went on to Thurrock under 16s. But yeah, but before that, obviously, was an academies. So I played it for a year, but it's good standard, to be fair.
Yeah. So sorry, Ryan, I just got a question. So do you reckon, Dave, when you finish playing, is coaching something you would want to go into, do you think? Or have you not really thought that far ahead?
Maybe. I mean, I think probably once I stop playing, I'd want to be involved in football in some aspects, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd be a good coach or not. I mean, I'd like to think I could kind of give something back, but yeah, maybe. But I wouldn't ever want to be. I don't think I'd want to work at a professional club. I think I'd just rather do like younger kids or something like that.
Sort of giving something back to the grassroots.
Yeah, because I think with academies and stuff like that, there's a lot of pressure. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, but I don't know really. You either make it or you don't, and if you don't, then you're back to where everyone else is anyway.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, we've got two very quick ones, and this will be the end of it then. So we've got, who was your inspiration growing up? And you can include footballers or parents, family, whatever you want to. And what's your least favourite part of being a goalkeeper?
Who's this to? Dave?
Yep.
So where I support West Ham, I can remember watching Shaka Hislop.
Okay.
So he probably wasn't the best keeper, but at the time he was like who I looked up to. And what's the second question? Sorry.
What's your least favourite part of being a goalie?
I suppose probably making a mistake, and then like if you make a mistake, you almost want to try and affect the game as much as you can in a positive way, and sometimes that's not always the case. You might be playing against a team that just sit behind the ball because they've gone 1-0 up, and you're just desperate to try and affect the game, but sometimes you just can't. So it's tough. Maybe that. I guess.
So what you're saying there then, Dave, is when it's like the 44th minute and it's 0-0 and you take a goal kick from your own box and you score. Is that what you're trying to say? Like that?
Yeah.
Is that what you meant? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and not being allowed to take penalties is up there.
Yeah, that's not fair.
You need to get shut off of them.
I think John needs to have a word on that.
Yeah, he does as well.
Dave can strike you, as we know. Dave can strike a ball, especially from 12 yards. I'm telling you, I wouldn't like to be behind it.
I will say I did have to ask around recently if there's any way of, and this was after lockdown, so I don't know if we can do this, but I saw a goal kick which has been dubbed the world's longest goal, and it's for Begovic for Stoke, and your kick was closer to your goal, so technically is a further kick. So you maybe have the longest one. However, that would we would have to measure Parkside and compare, and obviously what the size of that is to compare to Britannia. But your kick was closer to your goal, so technically yours could be longer.
You're talking about Stoke's old ground?
No, yeah, Stokes Britannia Stadium. The pitch there. If that's the same dimension.
Wide, but I don't think it was very long, was it?
Yeah,
it wasn't the longest.
That's it. So lengthwise, if it's the same length as Parkside, then Dave's could be longer because his was from his actual 6-yard box, whereas Begovic's wasn't. So that's maybe something to get your tape out in pre-season, Dave, and just check it.
Highlights reel.
Yeah. Excellent.